Nah, seriously, do you not just hate that when you get a brand new crepe and it's got a flipping strayer? We need to sort that out right now. Do a little bit of shoe surgeon type work. Hey, there we go. Much better. Very good. Very handy. Get yourself some. Bosh. Yo, what's good everyone? Thank you for tuning in to today's video. If you're new around here, my name is Aidan, and as you can see from the title, we are back again with another Air Max 1, which I'm sure at this point is coming at very little surprise to you guys, because it definitely feels like 95% of the shoes we are reviewing and picking up are all Air Max 1s at this point, but here we go, a brand new one for us to take a look at today. So in today's review, we will be taking a look at the newly released Nike Air Max 1 Escapes, a shoe that is jam full of details, a shoe that I'm super excited to have in the collection. And with that said, I don't want to take up any more time on the intro. So with all things said, just sit back, relax, and let's go ahead and get straight into this video. So first things first, before we go ahead and get into the shoes, let's get the boring stuff out of the way and let's just get this off with the packaging. Now the packaging itself is just your regular bog standard red Nike sportswear box. Again, for the 1000th time, if you've seen one, you've seen them all. Now if we do take a quick look at the label, which reads, we do have the Nike Air Max 1 PRM, which is in the white, slate, blue and black colourway, and it is a personal pair as it is a UK size 9. Now that's a size label for anyone who wants to check that out. That's how it should look. That's how it looks on mine. And then if we do open up the box itself, on the inside we do just have your pretty standard tissue paper in there. Nothing exciting to take a look at. But with all that said, underneath the tissue paper, we have what we came for. So let's go ahead and get straight into the shoes. So without any further ado, the moment we've all been waiting for, in hand we have the Nike Air Max 1 Escape. Now, I will be honest, I was a little bit concerned about potentially calling these the Great Escapes, because myself and Ajossi, for the last few weeks, I've actually been talking about this shoe, and every single time it comes up in conversation, for some reason, we've both been calling it the Great Escape. I don't know why, but I'm glad I haven't so far throughout this video. If I do refer to it as the Great Escapes later on in the video, just bear with me. It's just a mind lapse, and it kind of just is what it is. With all that said, we do love an easy cop on this channel. This one was definitely very easy to get, and I was fortunate that I was actually able to get it under retail, so shout out to Hip. So I actually got my pair for about 30 quid under retail on release day, which doesn't happen very often, so always a pretty nice win. And because this shoe is sitting at a bunch of different retails, I'm sure if you do put your footwork in and you are looking to pick these up, you should be able to find a discount code somewhere to save yourself 10, 15, 20%, so definitely something to bear in mind. Now, if you are kind of on the fence and you are looking to decide whether this is something you want to add to your own personal collection, in my review, I'm going to cover absolutely everything that you need to know, from materials through to sizing, so at the end of this video, you can decide for yourself whether this is something you're going to add to your collection as well. So just diving straight into this one, starting out with the upper to begin with. For this one, Nike decided to go deep in their own archives and actually pull out some of their initial ad campaigns from all the way back in the 1980s. By adapting the colours used on those initial ad campaigns, they were able to come up with a brand new colourway, whilst also incorporating a little bit of Nike's heritage into the shoe as well, which I will also be getting onto later in the review. But as the old saying goes, it's out with the old and in with the new. Nike decided to kind of flip that and give us a little bit of the best of both worlds by incorporating the history and the heritage of the past with a brand new colourway and a brand new way to tell that story. In my humble opinion, Nike have absolutely nailed it. Whenever they try to just pull a story from nowhere, sometimes it's not as effective and doesn't necessarily kind of go the way that I'm sure a lot of their executives were hoping. In this particular case, as a fan of the brand and as a fan of Air Max 1s, in my humble opinion, just off the bat, I think they absolutely nailed it. But as I say, we will get into the details as we work our way throughout the review. For now, if we kick this off from the front of the shoe and we'll gradually work our way back. So at the base of the shoe, we do just have your pretty standard all-white mesh material making up the toe box itself, which is then accented nicely with this shaggy, yet very soft to the touch, black coloured suede around the toe box on the mudguard. Now, I will be completely 100% honest, the material in particular isn't really a lot to write home about. It's nothing premium, it's nothing too outlandish, but just as far as the materials go for an Air Max 1, it is of a very good quality, very nice and soft to the touch. It isn't directional suede, so it doesn't give you that same premium feel, But overall, just as far as this shoe goes, especially considering I saved that extra 30 quid, I'm definitely not complaining about it. The quality of materials is absolutely fine. And as we then continue to work our way even further back the upper, we definitely start to see that really nice nature-inspired colour palette. Starting us off with the U-throw, as we have this dark green coloured leather, and then in the middle of the midfoot itself, we do have this very nice, soft to the touch, dark brown coloured nubuck, making up the quarter midfoot panel itself. And then in the middle of the midfoot, we do have, just like what we saw with the U-throw, that dark green coloured leather, making up the Nike swoosh, and that is the exact same on both the lateral and medial sides. Now that for me definitely gives off a very nice natural nature aesthetic. Maybe that's not the right way to describe it, but that's what I'm going to go with. I think all the colours used, all the colours combined, definitely give this shoe almost an autumnal feel. Makes you want to go out on a hike, makes you want to put these straight on feet. So the overall colour palette, absolutely exceptional in my opinion. And again, the quality of materials is absolutely fine, so nothing absolutely to worry about there. And from there, as we do work our way up onto the ankle collar, we'll start off with the eye stays to begin with. And the eye stays themselves definitely do have a very nice pop of colour, as they have been constructed using a red TPU material. Now, as far as the ankle collar is concerned, it's exactly the same as what we saw with the toe box. We do have your pretty standard all-white mesh material making up the collar itself. And as we then continue to work our way towards the back end, this is where Nike's heritage and storytelling fully comes into the picture, as on both the lateral and medial sides of the shoe, we do have this absolutely incredible embroidery detail, which actually depicts Mount St. Helens Caldera, if I've said that correctly. Now, that's what I read on the sneakers write-up, is that's the exact inspiration behind this detail. I did try to find those initial ad campaigns that I mentioned earlier on in the video. Couldn't find anyone in particular that really was the full depiction of what we're seeing on the shoe. So I did find 3 pictures. 2 of them are old ad campaigns, and then the other is actually a poster that someone is actually selling on eBay. I'm not sure if any of those are actually fitting for what this purpose is or what this shoe's depicting. If it is, feel free to let me know in the comments if you know what that is, or if it's something entirely different. Again, do make sure to let me know, and if you have the picture, please shoot it over to me on Instagram at ACS Sneakers. I've been trying to find it everywhere. I can't find it anywhere, so if you guys can help me out, definitely do. But if it is what we've seen on the picture I've just shown, either which way, I think the detail, just from an aesthetics point of view, absolutely incredible. I'm definitely glad they went with the black detailing instead of like maybe going with the green like we saw on the swoosh. I think it adds a much nicer look. I think overall aesthetically it looks 10 times better, and when it comes to details like this, it makes or breaks a shoe in my opinion. And for some reason or another, I don't know why, I absolutely love the detail. I think it's absolutely incredible. And I just think you're going to love it as well. If you love the detail like I do, if you love that embroidered feature behind it, the storytelling aspect of it, I think you're going to be dead pleased with it, because in my opinion, it looks even better in person. And as we then circle our way onto the heel of the shoe, again, just like what we said with the eye stays, we have a very nice pop of colour, as we do have this very nice red embroidered detailing with that Nike branding, looking very nice as always. Now, when it does come to the lacing options for this one, fortunately enough, we do actually get 2 different sets of laces. Now, the laces that come in the shoe to begin with are your flat shoelace, which have been done of that mostly dark green colour. But there is also like a slight dotted speckled pattern to it, which I kind of feel like is like a yellow or a goldy colour. At first, I did think it was 3M. I have snapped a couple of pictures. Doesn't look like it's 3M, or maybe it's just a lighting setup, but doesn't really seem like it is fully 3M to me. But if you're not really feeling how these laces look, you do also get an additional set of white laces as well. I've seen people do the lace swap already, and I'm fully convinced white is the only way to go with this shoe. So as soon as this review's done, I'm definitely going to pop those white laces in. Really brings the shoe out, makes the shoe look a lot more bright and colourful. So in my humble opinion, white laces is the way to go. But either which way, I really don't think you can go wrong. So just decide for yourself which one you prefer. And as we then continue to work our way up to the top of the tongue, we do have a black tongue tag, which does again incorporate that very nice pop of red to this Nike Air Max branding. A very nice touch once again. Now, I was speaking to someone over on Instagram, so shout out to you, you know who you are. And he did actually mention that the tongue on this shoe actually reminds him of some of the anniversary pairs from back in 2017. Unfortunately, I don't own a single pair of those anniversaries. And believe me, I want them all. From the anniversary red to the obsidians, I will get them one day. But either which way, he said the tongue was very similar to those, and it feels like it's kind of moving in that direction. Take his word for it through me in a way, either which way. But I did definitely think it was something that was worth mentioning, as the tongue itself feels a little bit shorter and definitely has a little bit more of a well-rounded feel and look to it. So again, nothing really out there. I'm sure a lot of people won't even really care about it, but definitely was something that was worth mentioning. And then speaking of details that are worth mentioning, as we do work our way onto the inside of the shoe, we do have this very nice black quilted sock liner. Now, I did throw these on feet before I did sit down to do this video, just to kind of get a sense of sizing. I do that with every shoe just to make sure there's no differences, and I will get onto that in just a second. But just as far as the sock line is concerned, even though it is quilted, it doesn't necessarily feel any more padded or any more comfortable than a regular Air Max one. Maybe slightly, but not really enough to really notice from a day-to-day wear as far as I'm concerned. So overall, it's more an aesthetics appeal and feel rather than actual comfort, but overall a very nice touch and a very nice detail for me. And then continuing even further onto the inside of the shoe, just like what we saw with the sock liner, we do have that black textured look to this actual insole as well. And again, incorporating that very nice pop of red, again we do see that Nike Air branding featured on the insole as well. And then just to close that in terms of the details, as we do work our way down to the midsole, we do have a polyurethane material making up the midsole itself, and incorporate into the midsole we do have a visible air unit towards the heel. Now if you do look closely at the air unit, there is a very nice dark green tint to it, a very nice touch for me. And as we then work our way onto the outsole of the shoe, we do have your classic Air Max 1 style of outsole with that waffle design. Now it has been done again of that mostly all dark green colour, but we do also have the incorporation of this very nice black colour towards the midfoot and heel. Again, looks very, very nice in my opinion. And now when it does come to the overall sizing for these, like I said at the start of the video, I went with my natural true to size fit, which in my case is to go for a UK size 9. I feel like we do this every single time, so I don't want to keep repeating myself for a lot of you regulars. So I am just going to suggest you just go with your regular natural true to size fit in whatever you're wearing Air Maxes. If you've never owned this pair before, again, like I said at the start of the video, this shoe is widely available everywhere, so just head down to your local retailer, try them before you buy them, but outside of that, just going with your natural true to size fit, you're going to be absolutely fine. And then outside of that, we've covered absolutely everything that you need to know, so if we now just go ahead and just wrap up this video. So just to wrap up this video, so you guys can get out of here and so I can put the fan back on. I am absolutely roasting right now, these lights are absolutely killing me. To give these a rating, I'm going to say they are a very solid 8.5 out of 10 for me. I think the colourway, the details, the heritage, the history, the storytelling, the trees, the red, everything about this shoe has been done very, very well. I feel like sometimes I can go a little bit overboard and give shoes slightly higher marks than I probably should do. In more recent reviews, a couple of you guys have called me out on it, and I absolutely agree with you guys watching those reviews back in hindsight. But for this one, I think an 8.5 is absolutely fine. I feel like it's right around what I would expect that I was going to give the shoe. And in hand, the shoe definitely didn't disappoint. The QC is immaculate on my pair, bar one fray, which I was able to clip off myself. There's no glue stains, no marks, no scuffs, no issues whatsoever. Materials are nice enough. The details are good enough for me. I'm absolutely buzzing with this shoe. So overall, an 8.5 is what I'm going to give these. I would love to get your guys' ratings as well. So do let me know what you think of this shoe. Let me know what you think of my rating. Is it about right this time? And any other thoughts, do make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, if you have stuck around to the end, I do just want to say a massive thank you. If you haven't already, please feel free to smash that subscribe button. Also, do make sure the bell notification is switched on so you never miss a video. And I hope to see you all again in the next one. Peace. That is wrong. Peace. Good hilarious.